Welcome to Advocate Today. I'm Tracy Gilchrist, and thank you for joining me. Adult film star Stormy Daniels may be known for her history with former President Donald Trump, but she's breaking out and living authentically with a new project. She's the host for the new reality series For the Love of Delft on OutTV. I connected with Stormy to talk about her speaking openly about being bisexual, turning a new page after the Donald Trump saga, and more. Hello, welcome Stormy Daniels, host of For the Love of Delft. Thank you for joining me.
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. I want to begin. You're hosting this reality series that has himbos and daddies living in a house, this beautiful house. And I wonder if you would talk a bit about how you arrived at hosting this and also staying in this house with these hot, gay men or queer men.
The house was beautiful.
Yeah.
It had an elevator, which was great because there was a lot of stairs and I was wearing heels and running up and down. But I have to say, like, the funniest thing about it was I've been in a lot of houses that we're filming in over the last years with a lot of very beautiful men. And this is the first time I've slept in a house and none of them wanted to have sex with me.
Well, that's a different feeling.
But it was really cool, and it was nice to be a part of that experience because even going into it myself, we know all the stereotypes of gay men in Florida being flamboyant, and of course there is a lot of that. And I think that doesn't have anything to do with gender or looks or orientation. You put that many people in a house who don't know each other and there's bound to be some sort of trauma. But strip away all of that and I was pleasantly surprised at how genuine the connections were and the people were and how inclusive. And I was even a little apprehensive even when we were done filming because yes, I was there and I was a part of it and saw everything. And this has just been my personal experience. You never know how something's going to turn out until the editors are done with it. Things can go horribly wrong in editing or be, cleaned up in editing. And I feel like this really stayed true to it.
You're also a part of the community. You're bisexual, and bisexual folks still don't get a lot of visibility in popular culture. So I think that's terrific. And I also think that you are a model of sex positivity, which, this series, is about love, finding love, but there's also a lot of modeling sex positivity. And not to get too political, but I think it's important at a time when there are so many right-wing attacks on queer folks and how we love and how we do everything. So I wonder if you would speak to kind of, being a part of the community and modeling, being a part of a show that models sex positivity for queer men.
Yes, absolutely. And I don't even think it's necessarily just for queer men. I think that it's for anyone. And, it was really funny. I started reading stuff like, oh my gosh, Stormy Daniels just came out. I'm like, have you not seen the movie? I mean, I notoriously took a girl to a high school dance in Louisiana. That was a big deal.
That is a big deal.
I am married to a man. But I do love women. And if you look at any of the movies that I have done in my 20 years in the adult business, going all the way back to my very first films, they are usually with women. And I was not gay for pay. I actually really like women. I mean, who doesn't love a nice pair of boobs?
Exactly.
I like them so much. I got a pair of my own. But I will say that one of the cool things about this particular show, was how diverse it was. It was sex positive, but it was also body positive. And there were all these men from different backgrounds and different ethnicities and different races and different jobs and different body styles and colors and shapes. And I thought that was really, really cool. And I liked that they were, open about talking about not just their sexual preferences, which is cool, yes, but that's salacious and that makes good TV. I'm not, we all know that. Let's not pretend that's not true. But they also were very open about talking about their boundaries and their limits and communication and talking about those things. And I don't know if it's in the show. I haven't seen all the edited episodes, but I personally walked up on many conversations about consent between people. and uh, safe sex even. And also, I can't talk to whether this actually made it into the final cuts, but I saw some of the couples or the singles having very powerful, very intimate conversations about what it was like for them when they came out, or abuses that they suffered. And like I said, I can't speak to what made it into the show, but I was there, and those were very authentic.
I don't have to tell you, you have been in the adult film industry for quite a while, and then, of course, rose to some notoriety because of your connection with Donald Trump. And now you're hosting a show and forging a different path. And I wonder if there's something you would like folks who are new to you to know about you, about who you are, without that kind of big past.
I think that what I would like people to know is I've always been the exact same person. For better or worse, this is what you get. It gets me in trouble a lot. I'm honest to a fault. And I'm not just, I became famous for that unfortunate incident with the orange elephant in the room. But I was very popular and had a good job before that. Obviously I was a porn star. I still am. Started in a bunch of movies, but I also wrote and directed over 100 movies. Was a stand-up comic, directed some music videos, wrote a bunch of horror movie scripts, had a podcast. I'm a mom. I'm a wife. There's a lot about. I'm more than one dimensional, and I think that that's kind of how the general population sees kind of gay men, that they're just this one dimension, and that has how they were been portrayed stereotypically in television and movies. Even we all see the flamboyant character, but there's so much more than that. Just like as a porn star, that's what people think about me. That we're not human. And we are. Everybody's human. Everybody has this whole range of things. And we're always told, oh, you never know what somebody's going through. But we're rarely ever told to extend somebody else the grace that they don't know what we're going through. And it should be both ways. And if I could be a part of changing any of that, then that's really cool.
I love that. Thank you. And I just wanted to touch on, we talked about you saying that you're bisexual, and you have been all this whole time, but not everybody talks about it openly. And I remember you kind of having a conversation on Twitter where you're like, hey, I'm bisexual, and people were surprised.
Right.
And I wonder, would you talk a bit about what it means to you to be visible and authentic in yourself, and what that means for the especially bisexual community?
Right. I guess up until that moment that you're kind of referencing, it didn't even really occur to me, because I started dancing at such a young age and then started doing adult films. And that's pretty much the norm in that pool. Like we were talking about how everything is very, very closed in, the people I was around and the industries that I worked in, no one really thought twice about it. So it was kind of a shock to me that people thought that was such a big deal. It was very eye-opening to me. Otherwise, I would have talked about it sooner. To me, it wasn't surprising. I was lucky enough that I was around people who didn't care. It wasn't shocking to them. But after that whole Twitter thing that you're referencing, I had a lot of people come up to me and were like, oh my gosh, thank you so much. You gave me the courage to tell my friends, or to feel more at ease with who I am. I wish I had a better thing that it was, this big planned, but it wasn't. I guess I was truthfully, shamefully, completely ignorant that a lot of people struggle with being bisexual, especially women. I mean, we all know it's a little more acceptable for women to be bisexual. It's a whole fetish for men to see two hot chicks kissing, and that's okay, but two hot men kissing is that's gross. So I guess I was ignorant at first about that, but I've been a little more vocal with it. I am monogamous, and I do have a male partner now, but I have no shame and support anyone else who wants to talk about it. And a hot girl walks by, you bet I'm going to be creepy.
Thank you to Stormy Daniels for stopping by. The show looks like a wild ride. You can catch her in For the Love of Dilfs, January 31st on OutTV. And you can check out this and my other full interviews with A-listers and experts at advocatechannel.com or the Advocate Channel, wherever you stream. I'm Tracy E. Gilchrist, and I'll see you next time.